Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of Season 1 of Twin Peaks.
Or are we?
There we are.
Oh.
That's the bit that comes later in the show.
Got you.
The bit that's called Culture Swap.
I understand.
You do realise, we've done over 30 episodes now. You know how this show works, right?
Vaguely, I get it.
So what comes next, Jack? What comes next?
It's your favourite part of the show.
Yeah?
Catching up with Liam and Jack.
Catching up with Jack and Liam.
Close enough.
Consistency. No, it's good, because your name always comes first, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just sounds better that way, doesn't it? Jack and Liam.
Alphabetical, isn't it?
Say Liam and Jack. Say it, Liam.
Liam and Jack. Liam and Jack. Sitting in a tree.
It doesn't... Well?
What? What
have you been up to, Liam?
I've got good news for you, Jack.
Go on.
You were talking to the Cineworld Unlimited Fan of the Month. So...
Oh my god.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's sort of like you're talking to a kind of minor celebrity, really.
Now, I've seen, Liam, I've seen their announcement, because, I keep track of the Cineworld news, obviously.
Obviously, big fan.
Such a big deal.
Shout out.
I've seen the announcement, and you also let me see what you were sending in to them beforehand as well.
Yeah. I gave you a little sneak peek.
Yeah. I have a question. How much of it, Liam, is real?
How much of what?
The character that you've portrayed for Cineworld.
What character? We want about
I'm giving you a helpful out, Liam, because, dear God, I hope it's a character.
What character?
Well, let's just say, I've been your friend for quite a while, Liam. We've done a podcast together for also quite a while.
Over a year.
Yeah, that's impressive. And, we're not the most positive people.
What? I am.
I don't think you are.
Yes,
and the character that you've portrayed in this I Am Your Biggest Fan competition.
It's not I Am Your Biggest Fan.
Whatever, mate.
I am
it's close
Cineworld's
enough.
Unlimited Fan of the Month. It's not that I'm their biggest fan, it's that I'm their most important fan.
You know what? They haven't actually posted what you sent in?
Yeah, they have.
Just the picture.
No. Oh, right. If you go to that, there's a link.
Oh, if I go to the link?
Yeah, the link takes you to my... it's not an application. It's like a little... how to describe it to people that aren't currently looking at the screens we're looking at.
But it's just a list of questions that they asked you and you had to provide answers for.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll read out a couple, I think, just so people can... And I'll do it in the voice that I read these in.
Okay, cool.
Which Cineworld do you visit the most? Chichester is my Cineworld of choice. I moved earlier this year and making sure I was nearby was a top priority. Went from a 20-minute drive to just 5 minutes. So now I can get my Cinefix in a jiffy.
Yeah?
That doesn't sound like you, Liam.
Yeah, it does. I love getting my Cinefix on in a jiffy. Look, Jack, you know me. You know I'm not the sort of person that likes to faff around with things. I don't like faff. I like to get there, get the job done, get out. Kat's a very lucky lady.
She is. Jesus.
So,
do you keep your tickets? If so, how many do you have?
Well, why are we skipping to question number 6? Come on.
I'm trying to find the ones where you sound ridiculous.
Well, so are we skipping 2, 3, 4, and 5?
All right, fine. Let's go for them. All right, okay.
All right,
you ask the questions.
Yeah.
Right. You ask the questions, starting at number 2, and I will read your answer in the voice that I have assigned this character.
Which is just me. Number 2, what's your favourite film of all time?
I imagine picking a favourite film of all time would be an impossible task if Die Hard didn't exist. Thankfully it does. Not only my favourite Christmas movie of all time, but my favourite movie ever.
That's a good point.
I mean...
Now, I know that you think this is a character, but I think this is someone who speaks solid sense.
No. So here's the thing. It's not a character in that you lied. None of this is lies, Liam.
No.
This is all true.
Yeah.
But I don't think that this is how you would talk. If someone on the street said to you, what's your favourite film of all time, you would say Die Hard. That's true.
Yeah,
I don't think you talk like this.
But, for something like this, you don't just give, short, curt responses. You embellish a little. You kind of, you give it some pizzazz. You jazz it up, you know?
That's true, Liam. I do get what you're saying. I do have one sort of counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
And that would be the photo. Oh, my dog is freaking out.
We'll get to the photo. We can talk about the photo once we've got through the questions.
Alright, hit me with number 3.
Why did you decide to join Cineworld Unlimited?
Financially, it just made sense. As I noticed my visits to the cinema were increasing, my bank funds were decreasing. But a Cineworld Unlimited card soon put a stop to dreading my bank statement arriving. Now I can be at the cinema whenever I have the time, and have spare cash to splash on popcorn and tango ice blasts.
That's quite a nice little bit of wordplay there, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, no, it's not.
Number 4. Do you have an unlimited buddy you go to the cinema with?
It was my partner's birthday a couple of months ago, so I treated her to her very own Cineworld Unlimited card.
True story.
Now I can get my film fixes and tick off date night simultaneously. We also recently met another couple who frequent the fine Chichester establishment, and hopefully our little film family will continue to grow, because if there's one thing I love to do when I'm not in the cinema, it's talking about what I just saw at the cinema.
Now,
I
how does
honestly
that
hate
not
this
sound like
person.
me?
I hate him.
Yeah, but you realise that, like, so one, that is what I got Kat for her birthday, and two, we have a podcast where there's a whole section called Liam went to the cinema and this is what he saw at the cinema.
No, I think you're misunderstanding, Liam. What I hate about this guy is not what he's doing. That's fine, because that is what you do, and I don't care that you do it. What I don't like about this guy is the voice that I have assigned him.
Right, so
like, I cannot read it
like
any other way. Yeah, but that can't be read. You can't read that as, like, it's not just you. You would never say, and this, you can argue with me if you want, but you know this is true. You would never say, now I can get my film fixes and tick off date night simultaneously. You have never once cared about ticking off date night.
You're right there. Okay, alright, to be fair, let's reverse it, and I'll answer in my voice.
Alright,
Okay.
Alright. So am I doing the next question?
Yeah.
How many films do you think you have seen so far this year?
It's only January, so the year is young, but so far I have seen 6 films. If we factor in the past 12 months, then that number rockets up to 60. See, that sounds like me.
You've picked a very standard question, though. So I'm going to keep asking you them. Because I think we do get to one that you might not be able to pull that off on.
Okay.
Do you keep your tickets? If so, how many do you have?
Alas, I am all about booking my tickets online and getting the QR code scanned. I'm sure I still have the ticket confirmation email somewhere, but that's not quite the same.
Who says alas?
I do. It's a good word.
I type alas.
And this was a form
alas.
that I typed. It wasn't like a verbal interview they gave me over the phone that they transcribed.
Yeah, but that's how people read it, Liam.
Well, they'll read me typing.
What's your favourite must-have cinema snack?
A sweet popcorn to be rapidly consumed.
No, that is not how you wrote any of this to be read, and you know it.
And a Tango Ice Blast, blue and yellow colours, please.
You're trying to make it normal.
It is normal. What's happened is you've assigned this ridiculous voice. Well, all that's happened, you've assigned in your head a ridiculous voice, and then created this character that you hate.
This picture does not have a normal voice.
That's very true. But, you know, that's part of the beauty of my face.
Right, we may as well... We've got there, Liam. We're at the end of the questions. Number 8. What do you love most about being an unlimited member?
Do you want to do it in your voice, or should
I want you to try and read this in a normal voice.
Fuck, okay. I love being able to go and see as many films as I want, and seeing the films I love
You can do it! You started doing a silly voice.
Well, that's my normal voice.
No, it isn't. You went, I love being able to go and see as many films as I want.
Well, I do.
Carry on.
And seeing the films I love multiple times, like La La Land. The unlimited screenings are also fantastic. I love getting to see films early with other film fans who generally exhibit proper cinema etiquette, and there's also a thrill of excitement in the air during these screenings. And I love getting 10%, soon to be 25%, off my snacks. What's not to love about being an unlimited member?
No, Liam.
What do you mean no?
No. That one is full of lies.
No. It's not full of lies.
I love getting to see films early with other film fans. Bullshit.
Well, I love getting to see films early. So
that's
one
true.
of the things that I wasn't sure if it would make the cut, if you will, is the bit where it says who generally exhibit proper cinema etiquette, because that's a little dig there that I'm getting in, because some of these people don't.
Yeah, I imagine there are people reading this who just hate you after reading that.
Yeah, you.
True.
Yeah.
I hated you a little bit before.
Yeah, and I don't really care, to be honest, because guess what? I got a £100 gift card, and I'm February's Cineworld Unlimited Fan of the Month, so stick that on the CV.
I noticed as well. Oh, was it you sent me the Facebook link before? Oh, I don't have the comments.
Oh, I can get those. Yeah. I've got those up. Yeah, what about it?
Can you please read the one? There was someone who was so upset that it wasn't them. They were like, "You never pick old members."
Oh,
by now, Liam, it's top news.
A couple of new comments since I last checked.
Are they full of hate?
I mean, there was one. I think the one that you referenced. My husband has seen over 100 films last year. How can I put him forward for the unlimited fan of the month? Was it that one?
No, see, that one wasn't too bad, because you could read that one not like that. She's just like, oh, my husband's been to see 100 films. There was I think it was just after that one, if I remember rightly, or just before.
The one that says, it seems to me that each month Cineworld Cinemas completely overlook the people who have been loyal to your brand for many years.
Yes, that one. What do you get for winning?
A £100 gift card, and you get to say, I'm Cineworld's unlimited fan of the month.
Yeah, well, that first bit's quite cool.
The thing is, so Cineworld responded to them saying, hi, name. To be considered for unlimited fan of the month, we do ask people to use the hashtag Cineworld Unlimited when they are talking about the films they are seeing or a favourite experience at their local Cineworld. And then the person responded, it's nothing to do with me, but in all honesty, when the people you are rewarding see so few films, yet you know full well there are others who have been with you for a decade and see double that amount, it seems unfair to say the least. Now, bearing in mind, I saw 60 films in the cinema last year.
Yeah, is she saying that she's seen 120 films in a decade?
I don't really know what she's saying.
That's 12 a year. That's not that. That's one a month.
I mean, there's other comments I've read that were like, oh, 60, that's nothing. I saw 150. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I have D&D to do. I have other things going on in my life. Call of Cthulhu. I co-host a podcast. You know, it can't be all Cineworld all day, every day.
No, that's fair. That is fair. But that's also insane. Like, because that's too many, what you've seen. That's too many films. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, yeah. It's because there's no way there's 60 good films in a year that are actually worth seeing in the cinema.
No, yeah, exactly. There just aren't. So you're seeing, what? There must be, like, how many good films come out a year, Liam, sort of, do you reckon? Estimate.
I genuinely, like, for me, so if I was to rate a film good, okay, I would say it has to get, like, 4 stars or above.
Yeah.
And in 2016, there was maybe 5 films that I gave 4 stars or above.
Yeah, so that's a horribly low ratio.
So I reckon, let's be generous, I reckon 5 to 10. That's
1 in 6 films that is good.
Yes.
So that's why I say too many. Because that's a crazy ratio, right?
Yeah.
But if people are seeing, double that and more, exactly. What are they doing? What films are they seeing?
I don't know. I think the issue is some people just can't be happy when other people, when fate smiles favourably on other people.
I think my favourite comment, which I'm seeing on Twitter, is from friend of the show, Dan Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Who tweeted, at Cineworld, at Liam Underwood. Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Which, if people knew he knew you, that would be funny. But
yeah.
I imagine a lot of people seeing that are just like, wow, this Dan guy's kind of a dickhead.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have Instagram, but someone on Twitter very kindly sent me a screenshot of a comment on the Instagram post, which just said, 60, ? That's nothing.
That's insane. Who are these people? I mean, to be honest, it sounds like you might not have deserved this.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to who deserves it. It comes down to I fucking got it, stick it in your pipe and fuck off.
I mean, I genuinely think that the only reason you won it is because of the photo you sent in. Because I think someone in Cineworld's, like, team that picks the winner saw that and went, I need to put that on the internet. My favourite thing, Liam, is that people are trying to turn it into a meme.
Yeah, that's a thing that came up on Facebook.
Yeah, like nothing to do with us. Just some guy is trying to make it a meme. And honestly, if he's out there and if he ever listens to this, go back and make it a meme, because it would be hilarious.
Yeah, because he's basically taken my my picture and he's done a little comment underneath it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Where I'm just trying to find what that comment is now. When you are 10 minutes into cinema and chill, and he gives you this look, and then he's cut out like my like a little square of the picture of where my face is.
Liam, can we please tweet that image after this show goes live so that people can see it?
I mean, why not? Why don't we do one better, and we'll share the Twitter post on our Nerd on Nerd Twitter account. So
Oh, that's true. We should do that.
So
yeah.
not only can they see the image, but they'll be able to see the blog post as well.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a genius. So yeah,
Liam.
that, and also the only other thing I've been up to lately is I managed to nab myself some tickets to see Hamilton in London when that comes. I think it's going to start showing in November time. But it was really hard to get tickets, so I could only get them for like April next year.
Yeah.
But
I had a look after you told me, and it was, I think there was still some in the month that you'd booked. Oh no, it was the month after.
Yeah.
Your month was now full.
Yeah. So that's Valentine's Day sorted.
Like a year away.
Yeah, I know, but she'll get it.
But this is
for
the
this
issue,
year,
Liam. This is the hole that you dig yourself, because you did this before with the Harry Potter play.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Because you then end up with 1 year where suddenly Kat's getting that present
Yeah.
and something else. And then what are you going to do in the gaps in between? Like, what are you going to do this year? I mean, you obviously can't say because Kat's a regular listener.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to wait and see.
Is it something big, Liam? I imagine it is.
Yeah.
Why are you saying yeah? Why are you saying yes?
Yeah, no. So, like, okay, here we go. It was our anniversary recently. I guess I should probably mention that because that is something else that happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you were Cineworld, unlimited member of the month, Liam. How can anything compete?
Exactly. I mean, we're going through order of importance. Cineworld Unlimited Fan of the Month, Hamilton tickets, 7-year anniversary of Kat. So
Jesus.
I know, Jesus, 7 years.
No, I would say Jesus to the fact that she's last on your list, not that you've been dating for 7 years.
Well, so for example, for the 7-year anniversary, because I lavish her with such wonderful treats on other occasions when I like have inspiration and come up with these great ideas, I just got a couple of things off her Amazon wishlist, to be honest.
Were they good things?
I don't think so, but she seemed happy enough with them, so it don't matter, does it?
Fair enough.
Like, she's getting into this thing called Deco Patch. Do you know what that is?
No, no, what is it?
It's okay, so she's probably going to listen, so I can't sound too judgmental. It's this wonderful thing where you get, like, I don't know, like a little... how to describe it? Like a little model dinosaur or something, right? It's like modelled out of, like, fancy cardboard or some shit, right? Like a 3D... Imagine like a 3D cardboard dinosaur, yeah?
Yeah, I got it. Picturing it in my head, yeah.
And then you, like, cut up pieces of paper and you put those pieces of paper over the dinosaur and you like, glue it down.
Why?
Don't know, mate. Really don't know. But,
You stick it onto the dinosaur and it keeps its shape, I assume?
Yeah.
Right, cool. Okay, that makes more sense. In my head, I was picturing you just, like, cutting up a bit of paper and then hiding the dinosaur under it.
No,
like
no, it's quite a big.
Sheet.
It's quite a big dinosaur, and so it's like you're like it's kind of like colouring it in, but with like
it's like
paper.
Adding decoration to that model.
Yeah. So she did a dinosaur recently, and she wanted like a little tray so she could do that on. So that's what she got. So it's not like Hamilton tickets.
No, not quite.
So it's very up and down. My gift giving.
Yeah.
Like I don't like set a benchmark and then try and top it.
No, that's true. I mean, Kat at this point is used to dating you.
You'd hope so.
So I guess she's given up. I guess quite early on, probably Kat gave up on expecting anything good. Just in any aspect.
Yeah, I would hope so. But what have you been up to, Jack?
Well, Liam, I have been doing stuff.
Oh, okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, good times.
Played any of those video games that you enjoy?
Yeah, played some video games.
Which ones?
Oh, I started playing Last Guardian.
There you go. Was that any good?
Yeah, I've not been hooked on it yet, because I got to a bit and got stuck quite quickly.
I heard the controls take some getting used to.
Yeah, the controls are a bit weird. Like, getting the animal to move is kind of odd.
Okay.
But it's like, it seems cool. Like, I'm enjoying it.
Well, that's good.
Read a couple of mangas, Liam.
Oh, any more Berserk?
No more Berserk. I started reading Deadman Wonderland, which is a series that I really liked, so I picked up the first 3 volumes of the manga. That's quite good.
Yeah.
I've bought Death Note, the Black Edition, which looks cool as shit, which I haven't read yet. I've read Death Note before.
Yeah, that's the edition that I have.
It's cool.
It is cool, yes, you're correct.
Like the edges of the pages
I remember, when I first read Death Note, it was just after I finished watching Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting the comparisons you can make between the two, because it's essentially like characters being put in like morally dubious positions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, alright. Oh, I'm Jack, I'm too cool for Breaking Bad. Ooh.
I don't think I'm too cool for Breaking Bad, I just didn't like it.
Yeah, because you're just so cool.
I don't think it's because Liam, I think if there's one thing I'm not, it's cool.
I mean, you said it.
Yeah, I happily admit it.
Yeah.
I don't think the listeners thought I was cool.
Well, not anymore, no. You've ruined that
We host a
image.
show called Nerd on Nerd.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Well, that's mainly it. Nothing else much.
The thing is, I've spoken like 20 minutes about what I did this week. So you've done like 2 minutes. So now it just sounds like I'm fucking... Oh, it's all about
I mean, one of
Liam.
your things was you entered a contest and won.
Yeah, I know, but like, let's try and like...
Your other thing was I've booked tickets.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's not have this section be like the Liam section. Let's get a bit
Or
of
maybe you
Jack
should
in there
do
as well.
less shit, Liam.
Well, maybe you should do more.
Alright, well, I've got something we can talk about then, Liam.
Yeah?
This weekend,
Oh, yeah?
it's the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. And what are you doing for the Super Bowl?
Coming down yours.
Hey, you're going to see my new house.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I wouldn't be. I don't like it, remember? It's not
Where
a
am I
good
going to
house.
sleep? Do you have a spare room anymore?
Yeah, you're going to sleep
Oh,
in my
that's-
office room.
Oh, how exciting.
So what you could do is like you could film a little video of you with the green screen behind you, like laying in bed, and then we could make it look like you're like in bed flying and shit.
I'm very up for that.
Yeah. So there's things we could do. We're gonna maybe have a go at filming some videos, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to try.
Let's not promise anything in case
Nope,
it goes wrong. 'cause
exactly.
We've done that in the past and it went horribly wrong and we never did anything with the footage. So no promises.
Yeah, that's true.
But the important thing is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, boy. I mean, Seahawks aren't in it, so...
No,
I'm a little
but
bit
the old
disappointed.
the New England Patriots, who I was a big fan of last year.
You
they,
weren't a big
they're
fan
back.
of, Liam.
I
You
rooted
picked
for
them
them.
because I picked Seahawks.
Yeah.
It's pathetic, the reason you pick a team.
No, it's because it's more interesting if we're not all rooting
It's
for
not,
the same
though.
team.
It's not, because you don't know what's going on anyway.
I have a rough idea.
Yeah, you sort of vaguely know,
Yeah.
whereas I do know now.
Yeah. And last year, I won.
No, last year the Patriots won.
Yeah, but if you never noticed, like with team sports, like...
Yeah, no. See, now the way team sports usually work, Liam, like this sort of thing, is you pick a team and you follow it, and then you
Yes.
win.
Yes,
What
that's
you
what I did.
haven't done any time you've watched American football is pick a team and follow it.
I picked the Patriots last year, and now I'm picking them again this
How
year.
have they been playing this season, Liam?
Well enough to get into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, how well?
I would imagine in the top two.
What are you worrying about the Falcons?
The Falcons,
Yeah.
they have a tight defense.
No, they have a very good offense.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about their offense. That's the thing.
No, you definitely should be.
No, I'm not. I think the New England Patriots. I think their defense is going to be notable.
Okay, fair enough.
It's going to be something to talk about.
So yeah, we're having our traditional Super Bowl
Yeah,
party.
We'll have
is the
chili.
wrong word.
We'll have wings. There'll be alcohol.
Cool.
We're going to be up late. I've got some new whiskey for us to try.
Oh, cool. What one?
Maker's Mark.
Oh, I've had that before. It's decent.
Yeah.
It's like top shelf whiskey, Liam.
I know. I've never had that one mixed. I always have it straight. I've started drinking whiskey straight now, Jack.
I prefer it mixed.
Yeah, well, I'm not a little girl like you, so.
Well,
Done? Next.
Liam, have you been to the cinema this week?
Yes, Liam went
Slash 2
to
weeks?
Liam went to the cinema, and now it's time for his spoiler-free review of the things they saw at the cinema. I went to the cinema, Jack.
What did you see, Liam?
I saw a few films. So, okay, we should let people know now, right? I'm only allowed to do 3 films on the podcast, right?
Yep.
But I saw 5 films this week. So
Yep.
what are we going to do? So listeners, our lovely listeners, don't miss out on any of the films that I saw.
I don't know. I don't care.
We're going to do some exclusive YouTube reviews. So 2 films will be on our YouTube channel exclusively. So if you want to know what I thought of 2 films that I can't tell yet because we haven't decided what 2 they'll be, head over to YouTube. Thank you. Details for where you can find us on YouTube at the end of the show. So keep listening. Well done. So, Hacksaw Ridge. You aware of this one?
Yes, that's the one with Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield.
He don't want to shoot no guns because he doesn't like bullets. He's afraid of bullets, so he refuses to shoot the gun.
No.
And he casts Cure Light Wounds on all the people.
No, he's a conscientious objector.
That's less cool than what I was saying.
Yep. So basically, because of religious reasons, he doesn't believe in violence and stuff, but he still wants to support his country in World War II. So he wants to be like a field medic, but he refuses to hold a gun. So this is Mel Gibson's return to directing after 10 years when he did Apocalypto.
Oh, okay.
And the plot is basically split into 2 halves. The first half, you have Andrew Garfield's character. He meets a girl, you see a bit of his childhood, and you kind of throughout the film, through flashbacks, you see why he has this objection to guns.
Okay.
And the first half, it's very twee, very like period setting, almost like it's kind of slow, to be honest. Like it's still engaging, but it seems like a little bit odd. You're not really too sure where they're going with it.
Yeah.
Then it kind of builds up, and he goes off to like boot camp, and you get. Now I'll admit I scoffed when I saw this guy appear in the trailer, but you have Vince Vaughn as like the drill sergeant.
Oh, I think I saw that in the trailer. And was like, Jesus, Vince Vaughn.
It's a real odd casting choice, but I have to admit, like, I kind of think it worked. Like, I did like him in this film.
Oh, fair enough.
He does his best, like, Arlie Ermy impression, who's in Full Metal Jacket. They, like, basically rip off the famous scene from Full Metal Jacket where he's, like, going through and chewing out all of this. Yeah. Then the second half of the film kind of kicks off, and it is just, like, this incredibly brutal war film. Like, blood, guts, no punches pulled. It's like it's a real, especially after like the really twee first half, is a very stark difference. And it's good. I really enjoyed it. There are like a couple of niggling issues, like so this sort of scenario, if you will, that they're at, this Hacksaw Ridge that they're trying to like climb up. The top of it's all kind of taken over by the Japanese.
Yeah.
So obviously this is based on a true story.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
Do we know how true to the story it is? Because based on a true story means like shit all. It just means there was a place called Hacksaw Ridge and there was probably a guy who didn't want to shoot a gun. Okay.
I don't know if this is... I think that's spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Put it this way.
How can it be spoilers?
Okay,
for real life.
So before the credits...
Yeah.
You get to see the things that basically answer your question of how true to real life do we know this is.
Okay, that's all right.
And it's quite interesting how certain elements from that have been weaved into the film.
So it's not properly true to it then, the fact that you're saying they weave it into the film.
Yeah, like it's not like, obviously it's not cut and like paste like 100% this is a true story and this is what happened.
Yeah,
but I think like the core story is true enough. The issue is obviously, so because it is based off of a person's account, the first thing to bear in mind is that can never be 100% accurate. This is what actually happened because it's always filtered through someone. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing is, and you get it. Obviously, this is an account of an American soldier. So the way that the Japanese are portrayed is just like uniformly bad.
Oh, okay, got you. I mean, they weren't.
But I mean, you kind of
expect
expect
World
that,
War II
right?
time, but
yeah, and you know, coming from that perspective, it's kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
The only other issue I had is at times it feels like Mel Gibson is kind of so in love with the violence and the effects and everything that a little bit too much focus is spent on like, look what we can do, look at this carnage that we can put on screen. So it kind of, the film feels like it loses focus. That like there's times where I was literally like, I haven't seen Andrew Garfield's character in what feels like 10 minutes. Like, what is he doing right now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So it definitely feels like it loses focus. However, it ended, and both me and Kat came out, and we were both very impressed. You know what I'm like. I'm a bit stingy with my ratings, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
4 out of 5, Jack. 4 out of 5.
Oh, that's quite high.
For me, that's very high.
Yeah, from your description, I would have expected lesser.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. Like, so obviously I focused a little bit on like my niggles and complaints, but the overall film itself was really solid.
Oh, fair enough.
Andrew Garfield's great. Like all of the actors and cast are really good.
He's doing that other film as well, isn't he? Where he's playing a Christian sort of dude.
Yeah, is that Martin Scorsese's Silence?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
No.
I would like to. It was in cinemas for like 2 weeks, and it's like I want to say 2 hour 40 film, so I just didn't find the time to go and see it.
That's fair enough.
But you know, I'm sure those people that went and saw like 150 films, they probably saw it like 3 times.
They probably did, Liam. I mean, quite honestly, they should have got the award.
Yeah. Well, maybe they should have a podcast and they could talk about all the films they've seen, and then maybe doing that would give them less time to go and see films.
What else did you see at the cinema, Liam?
Split.
Oh, good. My
Shyamalan.
sister saw this. Or is
Oh, really? Well, which one is it, Jack?
I can't remember.
Okay. I don't know if it's a horror film.
No, I know, but it's sort of kidnappy, which is a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it's a tense psychological thriller. It's basically... So here's the thing. M. Night Shyamalan started his career so damn well. Like, Sixth Sense, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've seen Sixth Sense?
Yes.
Have you seen Unbreakable?
Yep.
What did you think of that?
I really like Unbreakable.
Have you seen Signs?
Yep.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Signs is a good film. It scared the shit out of me as a kid.
All same. Those three, brilliant. And then it just went to shit. He did The Village, which I wasn't a big fan of. Lady in the Water.
You, sir, are
Avatar,
wrong.
Last Airbender.
The Happening?
Yeah, The Happening was also terrible.
How dare you? A film where plants kill people by waving in the breeze.
Yeah, with Mark Wahlberg and fucking Zooey Deschanel.
It's one of my favourite films, Liam.
You have issues.
Oh, it's one of my... How can you not love that film? It's absolute shit. It's great.
Did you see The Visit?
No.
So I actually quite liked The Visit, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because after the fucking awfulness of his last few films, like After Earth, that was terrible.
Oh, I might have seen After Earth.
It felt like he... Basically, it's Will Smith wants his son to be an actor, so let's make a movie with M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, no, I haven't seen After Earth. Yeah, I know what one you're talking about, though. Yeah.
So The Visit did feel like his career was back on an upswing, and Split still definitely doesn't reach like the heights of his first three films, but is definitely on that trajectory, I'd say.
Oh, okay. So better than The Visit,
yeah,
but not up to the first three.
Yeah, basically, quick plot synopsis. James McAvoy plays a character with dissociative identity disorder. So basically, he has split personalities. There's 23.
Hence the name.
Each one, he calls it the light. So each one of the 23 can take the light, and that's who he will basically be until someone else takes the light. You only really see like 7 of these personalities throughout the film.
Oh, I was going to say, do you see all 23?
No. Right, so James McAvoy is really good in this film. Like, his acting, obviously, doing that is a really good opportunity for him to like show off his acting. Like you said, it's a bit kidnappy. Basically, one of his personalities kidnaps 3 girls. One of them is played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch, which we spoke about on the podcast last year, and I was not a big fan of it.
Yep, I remember.
So it was nice to see her in a film that I actually didn't mind. Because, she was really good. It also had Hayley Lou Richardson, who was in Edge of 17, that we also reviewed on the podcast.
You say we?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to involve you, Jack.
I ain't seen it.
I don't think you'd like it. But she's great in this. Like, she was one of the highlights of Edge of 17, and she's also good here. So, like, both of those actresses, worth kind of keeping an eye on what they do next.
Fair enough. There's one, Liam.
So here's the thing.
Oh?
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Go on.
I was going to say there's a big question.
What's the big question?
Is the twist good?
Right. Okay. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. I promise. So
it's the only thing I care about.
Right. The film has some really nice, tense moments. I honestly don't think it ever really gets into like scary horror territory, but there's definitely
I'd assume not.
Suspenseful, tense moments.
It's like Signs is never like nothing.
No, Signs definitely has a couple of like jump scares.
Yeah, and they're not that scary. Like, the only one that is a little bit scary is the Mexican party. That's the only one I remember being like, oh, Jesus.
No, the one that always gets me is when he's got the knife and he's looking under the door with the knife. He's looking in the reflection of the knife.
Yeah, no, that's true, yeah.
That always, even now when I rewatch the film, it makes me jump.
Yeah, fair enough. But Signs is more scary because of that sort of suspense of, like, what the fuck's going on. Like, the whole scene where the dogs are barking outside and then he goes in the cornfield. That used to freak the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Signs is definitely scarier. Even The Visit is scarier.
Okay.
The Visit plays a lot more with like those sort of things that they do in Signs. It's more in that sort of vein.
Got you.
Whereas I'd say, Split just doesn't have any of that element. Like, there's nothing where you are genuinely kind of scared or even particularly like anxious about like a jump scare coming. It's not that sort of film.
Yeah.
The only issue is, while it is good, it does drag in a couple of places. Like, it maybe doesn't need to be quite as long as it is. And I kind of think, because they haven't gone down the horror route and they've gone for this more thriller type thing, it loses a bit of its bite, because you are never, like, while there are tense moments, you're never like really like edge of your seat, like anxious about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now the twist. Obviously, this being a spoiler-free review,
don't say
really
what it
talk
is.
about it in detail.
I just want to know, is it good?
My immediate reaction was, this is fucking ridiculous.
Cool.
But then, also, in a way that excites me a crazy amount.
Those 3 girls are all part of his split personality. That's my guess.
Okay, I really, really, really want you to go and see this film because I really want to discuss the twist with you.
I really want to go and see it. I'll probably try and go next week sometime if I can.
Yeah, because it's probably going to start winding out of cinemas soon.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I need to get on that.
So it's yeah, you need to get on it. And honestly, it is just... I don't know how to talk about it because it is just bizarre.
No, I think that's fair enough. I think, yeah...
But also so good. So good. But it's not for everyone. I'll say that. 3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
I saw Jackie.
Oh, yeah, the one about JFK's wife.
Yeah, Jacqueline Kennedy. So obviously I know this is a film that you're really excited about.
Does it deal with any of the conspiracy stuff?
Nah.
I don't care then.
Basically, so Natalie Portman plays Jacqueline Kennedy. Majority of the film takes place like the first week after the JFK assassination. So it's all about like her dealing with her grief, dealing with the funeral, and also dealing with the fact that she has to move herself and her children out of the White House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The problem with it is like it's the reason why I went to see it is because it's getting loads of awards buzz. Like Natalie Portman, I think, has been Oscar nominated for her acting. There's moments where she is really good, but for the majority of the film, to me, it didn't feel like she was like portraying this character. It just felt like she was doing an impersonation of this person.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get that.
So it was really hard to like get invested because the fact that it just feels like someone doing an impersonation means that there's always this like weird like uncanniness to it that doesn't quite fit and doesn't belong.
Okay.
So the other thing that's frustrating is it has some really good support cast. Billy Crudup, who like the way the story is framed is he's a journalist asking her about this week. So that kind of is your way in to flash backwards to what happened.
Yeah.
He's really good. And those scenes, there's bits where she's basically saying, whatever I say here, I'm going to get final edit. So I may say these things, and like she'll be chain smoking, and she's like, you can never say in your interview that I smoked at all. I do not smoke.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
So that sort of stuff's quite interesting.
I mean, it doesn't sound that interesting, mate, to be honest.
In comparison to the rest of the film, it's interesting.
Like, usually, I sort of attempt to listen to your reviews of things, but you've completely lost me on this one.
Oh, don't worry, I'm about to pull you back, Jack.
Okay.
Playing her assistant is Greta Gerwig, who was in loads of Mumblecore films. So you'd probably like her, wouldn't you?
I'm just going to check my emails, Liam.
You probably
see if anything important's happening in the world.
Okay, so genuinely, John Hurt, who sadly passed away recently.
Who is that?
I'm trying to think what you would know him for.
Just say what he's famous for.
He is the guy in Alien who has the chest burster come out of his
got you.
Chest. So this is like one of his last film roles, unfortunately.
Okay.
He plays a priest, and he's great. So this is the issue. Like Greta Gerwig's great, he's great, Billy Crudup's great. When the supporting cast are more interested than your like main character, you have a problem on your hands.
Yeah.
So it didn't really work for me. Like because of the supporting cast and because I did like them, it wasn't like a film that I hated. It just really wasn't good. So 2.5 out of 5.
Yep, fair enough.
Done. But have you you've been busy, haven't you?
Yeah, Liam. Now it's time for that bit of the show that we introduced last time called Jack Went to Places, and on the way to those places he read books, and the books that he read this week are... Sorry, blowing your nose in the middle, are you?
Yeah, but you can just mute me while you're
talking. I'm not going to. I refuse to.
Well,
how rude of you.
That's your... Well, when should I blow my nose?
Now.
Okay, thank you.
Since we recorded the last episode, Liam, I have read...
Because the last episode you read Hyperion and really enjoyed it. I paid attention.
Yeah, I did. Very good, Liam.
Dan Simmons.
Is that because you had to look it up to find pictures for the video?
Yep.
Yep, very good. So, since then, Liam, I've read 6 books.
That's a lot. We might need to cut some of these out.
No, it's alright. I don't do what you do and talk for hours. I'm just going to literally zap through this.
Okay.
I read the Imperial Radch, Radch. Not sure. In my head, I pronounce it Rack, I think. Okay. Whatever. Ancillary Justice, Ancillary Sword, Ancillary Mercy are the 3 books in that series. I gave the first one 4 out of 5 and the other 2 5 out of 5. They're like a new series, and the writer, Anne Leckie, she won
Is that
awards.
a female writer?
Yeah, it's sci-fi. She won some
sci-fi
awards. Go on.
Do you like I obviously don't read a lot of books and stuff, and one of the big things at the moment with film is how there's not enough like representation with female directors. Do you get a lot of female like sci-fi writers? Because I would have thought again it'd be like a very like male dominated area.
I think they're rarer, but like I don't particularly notice when I'm reading a book. I don't really care who wrote it unless I'm reading it because I've read their stuff before and I'm like, oh, okay, I know this is a good writer, so I'll give their next book a chance, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't particularly. It sounds like I'm being like I don't see color, but I genuinely don't notice the gender of authors because I'm just more interested in the book. But like she's good. Like they're good books.
So okay, so imagine I'm a listener, right? Imagine that. At the moment, you've told me nothing about this book that's made me think, oh, I want to go read that.
Okay, it's all takes place. You're like not seeing it from the perspective, but the main character is part of a. There are these artificial intelligences which sort of are ships.
Yeah.
But then they control these things called ancillaries, which are like humans that have had their brains fucked with and are basically robots at that point, and the ship like takes over their body effectively. This ship gets destroyed and all of the ancillaries on it die except one, so the AI is trapped in this one body, and you follow this AI through 3 stories as it like sort of tries to get revenge for what happened to it.
Okay.
Like at the moment I'm on a super like AI binge. I love AI books.
Okay. So hopefully
it's honestly good.
Hopefully we'll have some listeners that are into that.
If you're into sci-fi, it's decent. You don't need to. It's not that heavily focused on AI or any of the like. Oh, how do AIs do this? It's more sci-fi-y.
Okay.
And then I read House of Suns, which was a one-off, and that's about a like humanity spread across all the stars, but they don't have like warp travel or anything. So to get to other places, you literally travel for thousands of years.
Okay.
So it's basically.
So wait. How does someone travel for thousands of years? That like, do they have to basically like have like generations of their family travel?
No. So basically the people who there was like thousands of years after our solar system, there's this other solar system-y place with a ring of asteroids that orbit the sun, and people live on them. And there's a lot of rich people, and some of the richest houses create clones of themselves. And they start this thing called the Houses, where they clone 1,000 people from them, call them the Shatterlings, and their job is to go out into space and basically just experience the world and what happens to humanity. So these people get frozen, or they get technology where they can slow down their perception of time and their bodies, so their body doesn't age. So like instead of travelling for 1,000 years, you blink and wake up, but the universe has moved on 1,000 years. I mean, that's that, Liam.
Okay.
It's cool. Honestly, it's really interesting because usually there is light speed travel and stuff. So it's cool the fact that these people like leave a planet, then go back. So on their second visit to a planet, 3 civilizations could have risen up and died, and it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I gave that a 4 out of 5, Liam.
I've noticed so far all of your ratings for these are very high.
So what I'm currently doing, the way I've been reading books recently, is I've been going on these 2 sites which like are like the best sci-fi books or the best fantasy books, and I'm working my way through all of them, and they do it all in subgenres and stuff.
Do you ever worry though that if you only read good books constantly, that eventually like the good books you'd kind of get a bit almost like desensitized to them, and they wouldn't seem as good as they actually are?
No, you're talking to someone.
Like, imagine. Oh no, yeah. But all right, imagine if you only ever ate your favourite meal every day for a year. By the end of that year, you'd probably be kind of craving something a bit different, right?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you're saying, Liam. One issue with that analogy is that I'm talking about the best books of all these different genres, right? So that's like saying if you only ate good food that was cooked well, would you get fed up of people cooking you good food? No.
Okay.
Because I read sci-fi for a while, and then I'm like, cool, I've done sci-fi for 2 months. I'm going to move on to fantasy, and I don't just go to fantasy, I go to like grimdark fantasy, and then I'll come back to sci-fi, and I'll go to hard sci-fi or regular sci-fi or AI sci-fi, or there's all these different subgenres.
Do you ever read like horror sci-fi?
Not so much. I've never been a fan of horror books because, like, they don't.
I thought you liked Stephen King.
Yeah, I do. His aren't. I don't find them scary though. His stories are really good.
But he also is like the most famous horror writer.
Yeah, I don't find them scary. I just find them good.
Okay.
Like when I read It, I wasn't walking around being like, "Oh my god, everything lives in the drains," and I'm scared.
Yeah.
I just think they're good books, and I like them a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You done bitching, Liam?
I'm not bitching. I was just kind of like looking out for you, to be honest.
Well, don't worry about it, mate. I love books. I'm never going to not love books.
That's good.
So the last two I've read are by Ian M. Banks. Ian Banks is famous.
Wasp Factory.
Sure.
I've read Wasp Factory.
I just know that he's famous. He basically...
Yeah, I'm sure.
All his other books, all his non-sci-fi books, apparently he's Ian Banks.
Okay.
But then he did a pen name for the sci-fi series, and he went Ian M. Banks, and that was it. That was what he changed.
I saw recently that Stephen King did a children's book under a pen name, and then
people don't know what
Stephen
that
King.
is. Yeah, that's because people don't know what that is the thing. He didn't write a children's book. What Stephen King wrote is a book from the Dark Tower series.
Right.
Basically, there's a whole part of that book where one of the characters finds a book called Charlie the Choo Choo.
Yeah.
And it's this sort of it's this kid's story, but it's weirdly dark, and the character's like keeps reading it and is like it keeps getting darker and darker, and it's this sort of horrifying story.
Yeah.
So what Stephen King did was write that book. The pen name he used is the author of that book.
Yeah.
And then he rated it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he rated his own work," and I'm like, "No. He rated his own work because it's part of the dark." It's like,
I don't even care that he wrote his he rated it. What I care is like the thing on the cover that he said his blurb was, "If I were to write a children's book, it would be just like this," which is fucking genius.
Yeah, right, cool. You weren't having a go. I'm so used to you hating the people I like, Liam.
No, I was saying I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I think sometimes, Jack, you jump to the wrong assumptions.
Yeah, I do. I do make assumptions when you start talking.
I also looked up Ian Banks, and he did do The Wasp Factory, and that is a book that I've read.
Very good, Liam. Was it good?
There's not many of them, so I'm gonna, I'm pleased when I find one. Yeah, it's alright. I think you should read it.
Well, I've got quite a lot of books to get through before I can hit something non-sci-fi, because I'm reading a series that he wrote called The Culture, which is, I think, 8 books, maybe?
But it's only like 256 pages. You could sneeze that out in like...
I don't... No.
One trip.
No. Right, that's like me saying to you, Liam, why don't you just watch a Studio Ghibli film out of order?
Yeah, why the fuck would I do that?
Exactly. Why the fuck would I stop reading this series that I'm reading?
Well, no, because... Right, no. So that would be like you saying to me, why don't you watch your Studio Ghibli films, but then in between watch a different film, which I would do.
No, but it's an Ian Banks book.
Yeah, but it doesn't tie into that book. Like the series that you're reading.
That's... The way I read, Liam, I don't think you understand the way I read.
No, I don't, clearly. It would be like you saying to me, for example, why don't you watch The Lord of the Rings, but between them, watch like one of Peter Jackson's earlier films, which I would have no issue with doing. Yeah, but
here's the thing, Liam. Here's the thing that's different between books and films. I don't know, like you said, you haven't read many, so you might not realise this, right?
I might
With
not.
A film, Liam,
yeah,
I can sit down and an hour and a half later, or, sometimes 2 hours, maybe...
If it's Lord of the Rings, it'll be 4.
Yeah, if you're going extended editions, 4 hours, Liam.
I mean, why would you not
when
do
you're
the
reading a book,
editions?
Liam, takes a little bit longer.
That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, because you're missing out hugely. But so it's when you say just take a break and read this other book.
Yeah,
it would take so much longer than a film.
But also not really, because you've read like 6 books in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm when I start a series, I like. Again, this comes down to that issue I've got where I always rate things highly, or most things. There are things I don't like. I'm aware of that.
Mumblecore.
Yeah, but like when I love something, I love it and think it's incredible. So giving some of these books 4 stars is hard for me. I have to talk myself into giving them 4 because I'm like, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I loved it as much as I liked that 5-star one. But maybe I did, but I can't give everything 5 stars.
So here's something that I find very useful. Okay, that I'm gonna let you.
Just listeners, real quick before Liam tells us this. I once taught this man to wipe his own arse, so I'm now getting advice back. Fantastic.
And that's the beauty of the show, right? Is that it's a give and take relationship.
Tell me your wisdom, oh mighty Liam.
So on Letterboxd, where I keep all my like film thoughts, if you will.
Yep.
I've done a list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's called everything I've watched and reviewed ranked. So what I've done All 1,080 films I've watched in the last 4 years, I've put in a like roughish order.
That's insane.
So that way, no. But that way, when I'm like, oh, I'm not too sure what to give this one, I go through my list. I'm like, well, I preferred it to that, but I didn't prefer it to this. So then you can start narrowing it down.
No, I can't.
So then
That's
you're like,
insane.
No, how is that insane? That makes perfect sense.
How can I compare the Culture series to the Ancillary 3?
You just
They're
get on
totally
with it,
different.
mate.
They're totally different, though.
You just do it.
So I can't rank them. I can't say one's better than the other.
Nah. You can.
No, I can't.
If someone said to you which one is better, you would have an answer.
I'd say read them both, you idiot. That wasn't me calling you an idiot. That was me calling the person asking me an idiot.
Wait, yeah, okay. And that person, I'm dying. I've only got like 1 week left on this earth. What should I read? I need to read one of them. Help.
Only a week?
I've only got
you're only going to read one?
Yeah, I'm dying.
Sorry,
yeah,
no,
help.
You've got a week and you're only going to read one book? What's wrong with you? Read faster.
I've got other things to do on my bucket list. I want to go to Ibiza.
Drop Ibiza. Fuck Ibiza. Read 2 books.
No, I want to read one of these on the plane to Ibiza. Which one do I read? I can only read one. Help.
Oh, don't read them on the way to Ibiza. I feel like it's going to put you in the wrong mindset. Just
I
drop
mean, you
Ibiza.
don't know the reasons for my going to Ibiza.
Why are they going to Ibiza?
Because they want to, Jack.
Okay, well, drop Ibiza, read Ancillary 1, 2, and 3, and then start the Culture.
So
because the Culture are more standalone. Apparently, you can read them. People said you can read them in any order. I refuse to do that because that's insanity.
The fact that you said to read Ancillary first makes me think that that's the one that I should read and not the other one.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely not because the order I've got them in on my list is I read Ancillary first and then I read Culture.
Exactly. So that's the advice you would give: read Ancillary first. That's the one you
read stuff in the same order I've read it. There you go, listeners. Sorted.
Good. We've learned something today.
I gave them, both of them, the 2 that I've read so far, 4 out of 5.
Very good. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, well, sort of average for me at this point. Giving something a 4
That's
means
true.
that Jack enjoyed it, which he does most books.
If you grade on a curve, wouldn't that just bring everything down? Is that how
yeah,
that
no, but
works?
I did love them. It's not like me giving something a 4 doesn't mean I sat there going, ugh,
okay,
that was alright.
I'm really looking forward to when one of these books that's been recommended you read and you just hate.
I did the Griffin something. It was a self-published book. I didn't hate it, but it just didn't hold up. I was in the middle of this fantasy binge, and it came up on a list, and I read it. Oh, it was Gunpowder Fantasy when I was reading that.
Yeah.
And I just got to this book, and I honestly just couldn't get behind it. None of the characters I particularly fell in love with. And I read it all, because, you started the book. Why would you stop?
Yeah.
But instead of... I think there was more to that series. The Cerberus trilogy, I think it was called. But I've got to the end of that book, and I went, I don't want to read the other 2 books.
What would you have given that one out of 5?
2, I think, maybe.
That's still, not terrible, really.
Yeah, no, because I read it all.
Yeah, but so... Would you ever stop reading a book once you've started it?
No.
Okay.
Unless it was like say I accidentally started reading a textbook because I thought it was a fantasy novel. I'd probably stop that.
That I think is acceptable.
But I'm looking at my bookshelf and there's nothing on there that I haven't read all of.
And there's nothing on there that you wouldn't give a 1 out of 5?
Just having a quick look. It took me a while to get into a book called The Dragonbone Chair, but when I finally got around to properly reading it, I fell in love with it. The Wheel of Time, that's a good series. People should read that. Very long. Douglas Adams, he's great. Stonehenge Legacy,
Hitchhiker. I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
They're really good.
I've read the 4 books in that trilogy.
There is a book on my shelf that I haven't read.
Which is?
It's called Emperor, The Death of Kings. And the only reason I haven't read it is because I picked it up at a jumble sale once and didn't notice that it was book 11 in a series.
Oh, so you got to read the first 10?
Yeah, so I never got round to starting that.
Wait a second.
Go on.
So that's acceptable. I can't read book 11, but me wanting to watch the Studio Ghibli films in order is unheard of.
No, I gave that as an example of why I don't read them out of order.
But you, in the past, have said to me, why don't I just watch them?
Yeah, it's like, say I started reading... Say I didn't watch the Game of Thrones TV series, right?
Yeah.
And say you had read Game of Thrones and I hadn't, and you really wanted to talk about book 5. You were like, oh my god, book 5 is where it gets incredible. And I had to slowly make my way through all the other books. You'd be annoyed that it was taking me so long to get to book 5. I'm not annoyed that you have to do things in order. It was more annoying me because I wanted to talk to you about the good Studio Ghibli films and you weren't getting to them. And then you showed me the films you were watching and we had to watch Professor Lupin or whatever it was. And I was like, Jesus, Liam, you're having to watch this.
It was a live-action film.
It was horrible.
It put me off. I haven't
Yeah,
watched
I know.
most of the Studio Ghibli
See,
films.
that's what annoyed me, was you got to that and you went, well, I'm not doing Studio Ghibli anymore. And I was like, you've watched like this one-off thing they did that they probably all regret.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even Studio Ghibli. It was just that... So the first Studio Ghibli film was Professor Lupin III, which was an already established character.
That's
it
right,
was
so
a
you had to
film
watch all the
tied
other
into the
Professor Lupin
character,
shit.
not related to them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's
I do
insane.
need to go back and watch Studio Ghibli.
That's like not
just
reading
Studio
The Lord
Ghibli.
of the Rings because you haven't read The Silmarillion.
Yeah.
That was a...
housekeeping.
Any book nerds out there will appreciate that joke. Housekeeping indeed, Liam.
Anything?
I haven't done anything more on stuff we talked about except Pokemon. Playing that
how's that
occasionally
going?
still. I've slowed down a lot.
How come?
Because I've got other stuff I'm doing now as well.
Okay. When we last spoke, did you make a note of how many DVDs and stuff I'd watched?
Ooh, no.
Right, so it's going to be really hard to keep up the tally of how many DVDs I have left. So let's just scrap that.
Nope. How many films have you watched this week, Liam, on DVD?
Well, when did we last record? What was the date?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it was on a Tuesday, wasn't it? And today's
Yeah, it was,
Thursday. I need a date, Jack.
January the 17th?
Okay, so since January the 17th, I've watched 23 films.
You've watched 23?
Yeah, on DVD. That doesn't include my 5 cinema trips.
Yeah, no, that's right. We don't include the cinema trips in this.
So 23 DVDs.
How many have you bought?
Say 6.
Is that true?
Yeah, ish, that I can remember. That I can remember / that have shown up.
Right.
Maybe 6-ish, yeah.
Okay, 6-ish.
Yeah, let's say 6.
Very good. So, that will have lowered your total somewhat, Liam.
Yeah, I've done really well, right?
No, because I think you're over 1,000 that you need to watch.
Yeah, it's over 1,100. It's going to take me ages to get to below 1,000.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. You've knocked 17 off the total. Congratulations.
Yay! That is good going, though. We have to be fair.
I mean, it would be if the total wasn't so high.
Wait, I bought a trilogy.
Ooh, I am going to call that...
That's
sorry, buddy.
That's an extra 3 films that I forgot about.
Ooh, 9.
9.
Oof.
So that's going to bring the total down to 14.
Yeah, that's not good.
I forgot about that. And also, it's a trilogy that I'm probably not going to get around to watching for ages.
Yeah. Oh, really? What a shock. Like the 1,100 other films you have.
And that was housekeeping.
No, what? No.
Well,
That's
yeah.
when we do messages. Do we not get any messages or anything?
Nah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
housekeeping.
no. We did get a YouTube channel a comment.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll read that out if you want.
Yeah, do it.
So, here we go. So, on our video titled Jack Doesn't Know Anything About Cars,
Still true.
Harry Kempster said, I don't like the Jack kid. He sounds like he's got a beard which he eats out of. Glasses were sweet, though.
He likes my glasses.
Yeah.
Cheers, Harry.
And I believe you said we had another message that came through as well.
Oh, yeah. It's not on any of the digital channels. It's a physical message. My little sister wants to know, Liam, when you will be making more funny videos. Because she likes our little ones like the Jack Knows Nothing About Cars. I agree with her. They're good.
They
Liam.
they take ages. That took like literally like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, that's a shame. That's
It was
a real
ridiculous.
shame,
It was
buddy.
actually ridiculous how long it took.
Yeah, it must be real hard.
I'll tell you what,
editing
though.
something. Must be real hard
but
editing
genuinely-
something for that amount of time, yeah.
But like even doing so, we've tried something new this week on our YouTube channel where we took the last episode with Amanda and we split it into parts and uploaded it to YouTube. And even doing that took hours because I put images in that as well. So you tell her watch some of those videos. They're not as good, but fuck it.
The thing, Liam, the thing that always sort of I'm wary of with you.
Yeah.
Not because that sounds like I'm saying, you're lazy and you're not actually doing it, which is not true. I know for a fact that you put a lot of effort into this stuff, like you did with the editing. But the thing that sort of worries me is that after I took over editing and discovered, 50 shortcuts that did things that you didn't know about, I do wonder if you're doing something a very difficult way. Do you know what I mean?
Nah.
So, listeners, if any of you know how to put images on a video, like if you're sitting there going, Jesus, 6 hours, it's minutes.
But like each
minutes
of the
at best.
images has to be like photoshopped and then saved and then imported and then timed.
Well, that's true. Seeing as you didn't know how to do a gradient today, it's probably the photoshopping that's slowing you right down.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I'm not a big fan of it. It's the thing with Photoshop. It's great, but it's just this, you can do so much. You can always do too much with it.
Sure. If any of you want to teach Liam how to do things properly, give us a shout.
That's not just related to like podcasting things, like life.
That's everything.
Life
just
lessons.
Yeah, life lessons. Liam needs a wise mentor to just be on call.
I need a life coach, like some sort of hip hopper who can come along and teach me how to be fly.
You don't want a hip hopper because he would judge you the moment you walked out of a shower with like shit smeared down your arse cheeks. He'd be like, "What's this? I don't want this."
Why would I? Wait, hang on. I feel like you're missing the whole point of the shower.
I meant leave out of the toilet to go to the shower.
Yeah. Well, then I'd say to him, wait there 5 minutes. I'm going to get rid of this shower.
And then he'd say, "That's absolutely disgusting. You're a weird human being."
Yeah, I know.
He'd also go, "Why is there one less toilet roll? I'd put a fresh one on when I last used it." And you'd go, "It's gone, gone, mate,
just gone. Whoops."
How much do you spend on top? No, we're not getting distracted. We're low on time.
We're low on time. Yeah, this is overrunning because you won't shut up.
I've stopped. Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
So Liam, this time we watched the first 3 episodes of a little show called Twin Peaks.
Yeah, which is a show that I've been wanting to watch for ages.
Yes, I always hear about it, but I've never watched it.
Well, now we've watched the first 3 episodes.
We have indeed.
Directed by David Lynch.
I've seen 2 of his films.
I've also seen 2 of his films. We've seen one of the films that's the same, and we've each seen a different film.
Yeah. Is the one that we saw the same Mulholland Drive?
Yes.
Yes, I thought it might be.
And then I've seen Blue Velvet, and you've seen Lost Highway.
Yes.
But we had, like, some idea to expect weirdness, is the point.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's what I know about David Lynch, is that he does weird stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. And the show does do weird stuff, so good job, David, I guess.
And that was Culture Swap.
Do you think he'd like me calling him David, or would he want me to call him Mr. Lynch?
I would stick with Mr. Lynch.
I might call him David, though.
I don't know if he'd like that.
We'll see. David, if you're listening to the show, let me know.
Listen to the end of the show to find out how you can contact us to let us know.
Cheers,
that's how we hook him in. Now he has to.
Now he's got to listen.
Yeah, we've tricked
to
him.
Our opinions on his show.
Oh, Jesus. That he's bringing back, which is why we watched the show.
Yeah. So what did you think, Liam?
Well, the first episode's really long, because it's like 90 minutes long. And that's
we didn't know that when we agreed to do it.
No.
You sort of messaged me and said, leave time.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
Alright, here's the thing about the show. And I'm going to just give you like my brief thoughts, and then we can dive into it in more detail.
Yep.
There's bits that I when it does weird stuff, I really like it. And I like a lot of the weird stuff it's done. Some of it is just like weird for the sake of weird, it feels like. But majority of the weird stuff I really like. I love everything with Special Agent Dale Cooper and Sheriff Harry S. Truman.
Yep, those 2 are just fucking great.
I love all of that stuff. The thing that I don't like so much is there feels like a lot of storyline. Because the main, like, if you're not aware, also there's going to be spoilers. Yeah,
spoilers. If you want to watch Twin Peaks,
we're going to spoil like the first 3 episodes of season 1, so we probably won't spoil a whole lot. To be fair.
No, yeah.
But, so the main, like, question of the show is who killed Laura Palmer, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain storylines that feel like either red herrings, or they feel like they're just going to be, like, tangentially connected to that question and to answering that question.
Yeah.
So there's certain storylines that I just don't really care about when I'm watching it, and I'm waiting for them to end so we can get back to the stuff that I do care about.
Yeah, I've got that with because you've got the James Hurley part of the story. I'm still interested in, because even though it's clearly not him that killed her,
yes,
I think there's going to be more about him.
Yep, definitely.
Right, so I'm interested in that, but I'm less interested in the Leo storyline, because it's definitely going to tie in later.
It just feels like such a red herring at the moment, because it's so
like
obvious.
They're setting him up as this because he's abusive to his girlfriend and has these
he's
like,
a drug
of
dealer.
Rage. Yeah, so clearly he's there for them to be like, oh, did Leo kill her? And you're just going, no, obviously not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too obvious.
Exactly.
I mean, if it turns out he did kill her, I mean, well played by them, because that'd be a weird.
Yeah,
sort
but
of
no,
twist.
it is too obvious.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure there will be stuff with him later on that's different to what they're setting up. Like, but I also don't like care about his story. Like, I feel sorry for his girlfriend, and I'm like, she should leave him.
Yeah, and she's also seeing Bobby Briggs, isn't she?
Bobby Briggs. As I've labelled him, cool dickhead.
Yeah, there's 2 dickheads. He's the cool one.
Yeah.
His friend is just, he's a raging dickhead that I can't stand.
Yeah, you got cool dickhead and other dickhead.
Raging dickhead.
Yeah. But, like, no, I totally get what you're saying. Like, for me, it feels like there's almost, like, 2 shows in this show that I would watch. So there's, like you said, the cool FBI guy and sheriff.
Yeah, like the murder mystery.
Yeah, that bit I'm into. Yeah. Then there's, like, a couple of the other characters. Like, I guess, not Shelley, what's her name? Donna.
Donna, yeah.
Like, the Donna and James part of the story, I probably would watch.
Yeah.
As a thing, like, friend, someone's friend dies and then she gets with his ex.
Yeah, there's certain bits that they almost seem pointless. So you've got I honestly don't remember the character names, but you've got this lady with an eye patch. Okay.
Nadine Hurley.
Okay, she's married. I think to someone else.
She's married to Ed the mechanic.
Yes, I like Ed the mechanic. But
yeah, he's really cool.
Of that shit that happens in the first 3 episodes about her trying to make these silent fucking curtain drapes or whatever it is.
Yeah, it is silent curtains. Yes.
Yeah, I honestly, it feels like so much time is spent on that, and I don't care.
It's weird because I like that. I don't know why.
But this show. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, sorry, no. You say yours. Mine's.
I was just gonna say this show is very much like the definition of a cult show.
Yeah.
Like, it perfectly... I 100% like see why it has that label attached to it.
I mean, it'll be interesting as well to see, because we are only 3 episodes in. It would be interesting to see where it goes. Because, like,
there's 30 episodes in total over 2 seasons. And also a movie that ties into it after season 2, I believe.
Oh, jeez. Fair enough. But yeah, like, because I wonder if some of this stuff that at the moment we're seeing as, pointless, like... Because, some shows do that. You have pointless shit going on that you're like, oh, I don't care. And then when it actually becomes part of the story, you're like, oh. And then you can go back and watch it and be like, oh.
How are these silent curtain runners going to tie into the
Maybe,
story?
Liam, she makes a rail gun and she oils up the rails so that it fires silently.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe there's a scene where 2 people are cheating, which would be a shock for this show, because half the fucking town are cheating on each other. But... maybe someone's cheating and someone's like, oh, I need to look out my curtains. And they've shown in a scene before that the curtains are squeaky and you're like, oh, they're going to see him. They're going to know. But the curtains are silent.
That's another storyline I don't care about, is the sheriff seeing the woman who's running like the sawmill.
But that's not them
person
cheating.
Who works for her. No. So I know they're not cheating. I'm just saying that's the whole sawmill storyline with this woman running it and this other couple who like want to take it away from her. It's just another aspect that I don't care about.
Oh, see, I think that one is going to get interesting. I could see it being, again, though, it seems obvious
at this stage.
I do have a question, right?
Yeah.
You know how, I think it might still be in the first episode, where the second girl shows up.
Yes.
What's that about? Because that's not paid off yet, or anything, has it?
No, she last we saw, she was in like a catatonic state after...
Oh, that's right, she can't talk,
raped, I believe?
Yes, no, that's understandable. Don't get me wrong, I just...
Yeah. Yeah, no, that hasn't been developed any further, that storyline. And that's the thing. I'm so interested in the murder mystery aspect, and the fact that it's a serial killer because they found the letter underneath the fingernail.
Yeah.
Really interested in all of that stuff. I'm really struggling with the rest.
The thing is, right, I think there's enough stuff that's got me interested that I want to watch more.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see this through to the end.
Especially, because the big thing that... Because, I enjoyed episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But episode 3 just feels like they were like, right, let's get real freaky weird.
Yeah, there was a couple of weird things. Like in episode 1 and 2, there was a few little weird things. And episode 3 went all on board with the weird train. Yeah,
because they were like, episode 1 and 2, you got Dale Cooper, Agent Cooper.
Yes.
Who's weird anyway, like, his habits are odd.
Like, but he's also great.
Yeah, he's really cool. But, he's always leaving notes on his recording device for his secretary, letting her know exactly how much he spent on things and where he had good food.
Here's the thing. We're assuming it's his secretary, right? But we've
That's
never
true, it could
actually...
be anyone.
Yeah, it's just someone called Diane is all we know.
That's true, yeah.
Like, the way this show is going, it could be his fucking dead wife, for all we know.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, oh. But yeah, it could be. But then, episode 3, you suddenly discover that he also fully believes... I can't remember what he calls it. Where he's throwing the rocks at the jars to see who the suspects are.
Yeah, is it some sort of Buddhism or something?
Yes, it's some weird, he's like, ah. And then everyone just goes along with it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. One of the guys that works for the sheriff, the one who cries when he discovers the crime scene,
Andy Brennan.
he's brilliant.
I love him.
He's great.
I feel so sorry for that character because I'm like, yeah, I'd be like that.
I also really like the receptionist.
Yeah, her name is Lucy Moran, or Moran.
One of us made very detailed notes.
I wrote down a lot of the characters because I knew this would happen.
Yes, but I honestly couldn't tell you, like, what happened in each episode individually.
No, I'd probably struggle as well. Like, there are key scenes and stuff. Like, not even
Yeah.
key scenes. There are just certain scenes that stick with me.
Yeah. One of the things that definitely seems weird at the moment is the doctor guy.
Yeah, I think that's a red herring as well, though.
Oh, it is. It just seems very odd.
There's quite a few people in the town that are obsessed with Laura Palmer.
I think what they've done well, though, is, like, they established her as this, like, oh, she was the homecoming queen type character. And then, like, I think one of the characters made, like a kind of remark that was like, oh, there's going to be more to her, like, we need to find out.
Yeah.
And very quickly we have already started, like, peeling away these layers to find that she was, like, dealing drugs and involved in, like, taking cocaine and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's just so far it's weird. I mean, that's the best way to sum it up, I think, is it's weird.
It is. But when it does go all out on the weird stuff, I think is when it's best.
Yeah, like, there's a scene that is the final scene of episode 3, so the last thing that we watched of this.
Yeah.
Which is...
a dream scene.
Yeah, a dream scene where 2 of the characters have been filmed, so that they've been... The footage is reversed.
Yes. Which I didn't notice. You noticed.
Yeah,
that.
Liam didn't know. Liam thought they were talking, which is fair enough. I can see why you didn't notice.
Yeah.
But, like, all of their footage is reversed, but they're doing stuff so it looks like they're going forward. So when they filmed it, the guy was walking backwards, but because the footage is reversed, it looks like he's walking forwards, that sort of thing. And when they talk, they clearly were having to speak to make the sounds that, when reversed, made proper words. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all subtitled, which helps.
Yes, because you can't really understand it, but you can sort of hear them making the right noises.
Yeah, right
but
enough.
It's really weird, and it's all Cooper dreaming it, right?
Yes.
And he's the only thing that's filmed forward in it. So there's one of the guys in the dream is a little person, and he just dances in it for, like, the last 5 minutes of the show.
It's just so like eerie. Like, the whole atmosphere, the way it's shot, the lighting, that what he's doing, it's just really eerie.
Like, knowing it was reversed, I was hugely impressed by that, because they must have been playing him backwards music.
Yeah.
For him to dance to.
So weird.
It's just odd. The whole thing. And then, like, there's a girl in it who is identical to Laura Palmer in the dream, but she says to Agent Cooper, I'm not Laura Palmer. I'm some other person.
Yeah.
And I was just watching it like, I don't know what's happening.
No. It's just a very bizarre show. I think the problem with talking about this show is, obviously, and the amount we've seen of it, is we haven't seen a lot, really.
No. We've seen a lot of them setting stuff up.
Yeah, we haven't seen very many payoffs, if any.
No, yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it.
Yeah, it does make it makes it hard for us to talk about it, because it's like, well, we've got the start of all these storylines, but we have no idea where they're going to go with them.
No, that's true.
So we are kind of limited. So this culture swap might be a bit of a short one.
That's true.
The acting's good, the directing's good. I like the use of music and the soundtrack.
Oh, see, okay, that is actually... I did have one complaint that you've just reminded me of.
Okay.
I think I only really noticed it hugely in the first episode.
Yeah.
It sort of ties into the feel that there's multiple shows within this show that I had, where I'm like, there's this that I like, and then I also like this, but it doesn't feel right together, right? There's these scenes where something really dark is happening, like you're watching this girl just break down in tears because her best friend has been murdered.
Yeah.
And then it jumps to another girl from the school, and the music changes to this, like, comedy music.
Yeah.
And she's just, like, having a laugh. And it's not like... It doesn't feel like it's trying to, like, juxtapose it or anything.
No.
It just jumps to it. And it's not like, oh, see, we're showing you this other thing. It's just like, oh, now a funny scene. And I was like, oh, this feels weird. And I don't know if it is deliberate to make me feel weird, or if it's just odd and wrong.
Yeah.
Because I didn't enjoy that particularly.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point.
That's like, I think that's my main complaint with it, was that first episode especially. I was like, why does it keep jumping to this Audrey chick just, like, dancing in a room to happy music?
I do wonder as well if once we reach the end of the show and we obviously find out who did it, how it would then affect rewatching the show with that information.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how much of this is setting stuff up or hinting at things that we just don't know yet.
Yeah, and how much of it is just stuff that like goes down a different path or is abandoned and never picked up again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think we do need to... Are you planning on watching the rest, Liam?
Yes, I am.
Cool, so am I. So I think we definitely need to, in a future...
We'll do we'll talk about where we've got to with on housekeeping.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say when we get to housekeeping.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, good lord, I do want to finish it just so I can be like, okay, it didn't make any sense.
Or it did.
Okay, it's genius.
Yeah. And, so from what you've seen so far, are you excited at the fact that they're bringing it back?
Well, not so far, but but only because I'm sort of hoping that these two series do wrap up with something sort of making sense. I don't want to get to the end and be like, right, that's why they're bringing it back, because they never finished it.
Right, we still don't know who killed Laura Palmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it, yeah.
Because we don't know that, do we? We don't know whether that's why it's coming back.
No, exactly.
Oh, God, I hope that's not why it's coming back.
We'll find out soon.
Oh, God.
I mean, I'll be honest, like, compared to other TV shows, so far, obviously it's early days, but I like, while I do want to carry on watching it, I'm not, like, gripped and eager to watch the next one. I'm not at that stage with it yet.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm not hooked on it.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but I'm not hooked.
Because the other thing that's kind of odd, I think, is the first season is 8 episodes, the second season is 22.
Yeah, that is a slight difference in numbers there.
So I'm kind of hoping, like, obviously we don't know yet, but I'm hoping that the second season doesn't feel like it is just being stretched on or dragged out unnecessary.
The Lost effect, if you will.
Exactly. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see when we get there.
We will.
So what would you give the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Twin Peaks out of 5?
I think 3.5.
Okay.
Because it had that slow start.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't hugely hooked on episode 1.
Yeah.
But then
Which
it did
was
get
an hour
better.
and a half as well. That's not
exactly, yeah. So that's almost like,
a movie,
half
essentially.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think 3.5, but I'm hoping that will improve.
Yeah. I'd say, for me, 3 out of 5 at the moment.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like you said, I'm very hopeful that by the end, we'll reassess that and it'll change.
Yeah, because it's not put us off, it's just not... Yeah, I'm just hoping it's a lot of setup, which will pay off, and then I'll be like, oh, genius.
I do feel like you have to give shows a bit of time to like find their groove. Like I've always said this, I think to you. For me, with Breaking Bad, I don't love the first 2 seasons. It's only when it hits season 3 that it feels like it's found its stride.
But
while I don't hate them, but while I don't hate the first 2 seasons, I'm probably very similar to Twin Peaks. Where I'm like, oh, I see it's going somewhere. It's just not there yet, so I'm a bit like waiting.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Liam. If Twin Peaks is 2 seasons of setup, I'm not going to be happy.
Well, but we'll be right in time for season 3.
That's true, we would.
I'm hopeful. I feel like it wouldn't have the following it has if it isn't better.
No, exactly, yeah. I'm assuming it's going to be quite good.
Yeah. We had some correspondence about Twin Peaks.
Go on.
So, on Twitter, @BrissFrankie said, it's such a good show. I'll be starting a rewatch of it soon, so it's all fresh, ready for the new series. And they said that they really hope we like it, and they're looking forward to hearing our thoughts on the podcast.
Fair enough.
So,
I hope you weren't annoyed with us.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've made a good point in that we are only 3 episodes in, and things can change.
Yeah.
We also had an email from Kat Feiston.
Oh,
saying,
friend of the show.
The music in Twin Peaks is so good. I also love the murder mystery aspect to it, and I am already Log Lady's #1 fangirl. Only downside is that episodes can lag a bit with strands of the story that aren't as interesting as Agent Cooper drinking damn fine coffee.
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought Log Lady, there's a scene with her and Agent Cooper and Sheriff, what's his face, Thompson? Truman?
Yes,
Truman, that's
Truman.
That was just genius. Like,
yeah,
just so funny. But
the log
really,
knows what happened. You have to ask it.
Like, really funny, incredibly out of place.
Yes, very much so.
So that was that.
Fair enough.
Final thoughts?
I'm going to keep watching. We'll let you know. So, Liam, what are we going to do next time?
Next time, Jack, we are going to do a film that was suggested to us by someone who used to listen to the show and probably doesn't anymore. So,
if you do still listen, Joanna, we're sorry it took us this long.
We are doing Blue is the Warmest Colour.
Ooh.
So, I'm excited.
Now, Liam, I'm looking at our little sheet of things.
Yeah.
And I tend to write a little bit so that we sort of know, what it is.
Yeah.
So, for example, we've got stuff on there like games where I've written PS4, so we know it's a PS4 game. For Blue is the Warmest Colour, I have written type, lesbians.
Yes.
And then reason, lesbian sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen the film, so I don't know what that means.
No, I know. I'm just letting you know that's what I've written.
So, maybe next episode is going to be a bit sexy.
I think it might be a sad film, maybe.
The thing is, I think every one of our shows is a bit sexy, because we're very sexy.
That's true. How could it not be with us on it?
With me blowing my nose.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So, how can they find us?
If you want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at nerdonnerd, or you can email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod. Those are all the ways you can contact us. If you want to do us a favour and be just a good set of listeners, you could log on to iTunes and give us a little rating. Preferably 4 or 5 stars. 3 maybe at a push. If you're going to rate us 2 or 1, it seems like a lot of effort on your part just to give us such a low number. So don't do it.
Vindictive. Instead of doing that, instead of being vindictive and doing that, let us know what we did to piss you off so much so we can laugh about it on the next episode.
That's true. We do like hearing what we've done wrong.
Yeah. What about YouTube, Jack?
If you want to find us on YouTube, you can YouTube Nerd on Nerd Episode 1 Fleshlight.
And don't forget, coming soon to YouTube, we're going to start having exclusive videos where we run out of time in the main show, but it's so good we don't want to lose it.
We'll also maybe have some new video content.
Yeah, not only that, but also we'll be splitting up these episodes and putting them in sections up on YouTube. So maybe
how exciting!
Maybe you only care about Culture Swap, so you can just listen to that bit. Maybe you only care about catching up with us, so you can just look. The option is there for you to listen how you want to listen.
We're just so kind like that.
Exactly.
Bye.
We love you, and you love us. Bye.